Good morning, Epic 7, and happy Mola Monday. Welcome to your first day of Ancient Inheritance. Sorry this is a little bit delayed. If I sound a little bit rough, it's because I feel a whole lot rough. I got a nasty bout of food poisoning last night, and I was worshipping at the porcelain altar until about 5 in the morning. Feeling a lot better now, but still a little bit shaky. So let's talk about Ancient Inheritance and your first day. First, this is the map of floor number 1. It's very large compared to maps in the past. And because the loot on floor number 1 is terrible, we're just going to rush it and try to get to floor 2 as quickly as possible. Now I recommend you divide your guild up into 4 teams and send them on paths with instructions. This is the map that I made for Baka 7. You're more than welcome to copy it if you like. But ideally you make your own map with your own instructions that fits the strength, size, and needs of your own guild. The wardens on this floor are basic blind eye witches. They are dark element, but unlike other floors, there are no elemental penalties, so you don't have to worry about what element your units are when you take them into the fight. If you decide to go after this guild chest in the center, which I'd recommend, it's got Molagora in it for your entire guild, you gotta fight those spinning top machines, and the trick to them is you gotta hit them with 2 AoE attacks. But there is a little bit of a cheat to it. Take units that have single target AoE skills like Holiday Fiend, Yuna, Dizzy, Bad Cat Armin, and put the tower artifact on them. It's not enough on higher floors, but on floor 1 the extra fixed damage is just enough to kill the spinning tops off, so you only need an AoE unit with this artifact and you'll be able to clear that phase relatively quickly. I'm not sure if you need to have that artifact plus 15 or not, but you'll have to check that yourself. Now if you can't clear the entire Ancient Inheritance, that's okay. All you miss is the floor 4 reward, but it's really nice rewards. Here is the exchange shop. It's loaded with goodies. Don't panic. Early on we're going to tell you not to collect personal chests, not to worry about loot. Trust me, if you get to floor 3 by early week 2, you'll be able to get enough to clear everything. Now at the start, you get to pick your starting relic. This is permanent and can't be changed, so pick well. Warden Pipe is still the best for EXP. It has been nerfed a little bit, but we mapped it out and it's still the best. If you don't see the relic you want, click that refresh button on the bottom. You can refresh 1 time and try to get a relic you do want. Exploration Journal gives you 75% EXP when you use certain items, and that is very close second to building experience points for your unit. And a distant third is probably the wooden spatula. Gives you 5 additional provisions per day. Doesn't seem like a lot, but it adds up to be basically a full free day. Now the pathing I came up with for Baka 7 sends me with the blue team up the right hand side. Going to skip the guild chest bosses on this floor because we looked at them and the rewards are just not that good. Only that central epic guild chest is worth getting. Now this is important. Before you start out, you want to enlist 3 heroes at least, and these should be the 3 heroes that are the classes you're going to focus on. I'm going to focus on warriors, rangers, and soul weavers for this run. You want to focus on at least 2, at the most 3 classes. Some people would argue that 3 is a waste, but I think it can be useful to have that 3rd class if you play aggressively. The reason for this is you will use scrolls here and there, and the scrolls will say things like, hey, there's this enhanced reward if you got a ranger in your party, and it's grayed out and you can't select it if you don't already have a ranger enlisted. But you don't need more than 1 of each of your primary class. Now don't load up on every class trying to get those rewards, because usually they have to be a certain level and you only get so many enlistment spots. So don't take more than 2 or 3 units to start out with of the class you want, so that you'll be able to get those extra rewards. Now I really anguished over this and counted the hexes. I'm heading for that teleport lift, mana lift they call it, in the upper right hand corner, and I want to get there as efficiently as possible, so I'm really trying to min-max my usage of provisions. I counted the hex, and to go around that little green majestic flap and get that scroll, versus going around the rubble in between the chest, looks like it will take 1 additional step if I go to the right. So even though it seems counterintuitive, when I count out the hexes, it's faster if I go to the left. So now it's like a classic tactics game where you click on the hex to move there. Now that's an EXP book. If I had the exploration journal, I would grab it, but I've got the Wanderer's Pipe, so I get experience by walking. It would give me experience, but I'm trying to push this floor as quickly as possible. Let's see if this scroll gives us something good. Provisions would be ideal. So there's the ranger on your team, but it needs to be ranger level 3 or higher. Nobody's going to have that, so it's useless. I'll waste 2 provisions, getting slightly better rewards, a little more experience and double charms, but it's not a good enough reward boost in my opinion to be worth it, so I'll just break the chest, take the basic rewards, and I'm a little sad that scroll was kind of a waste. So there's another book. Again, if you've got the exploration journal, that can be really good. Part of the reason I'm not taking those is the guild only gets 1 or 5 uses of that thing per guild, so I'm kind of leaving them behind for people that got the exploration journal. So we have leveled up and we get our first enhancement, and you can see how it increases the stats of all of your warriors and all your soul weavers by a percentage. This is where your stats come from in game, not from gear, but from these percent bonuses for leveling. So I'll use the mana lift to take me over to the eastern island. The reason I'm skipping chests is chests are absolute dog water on floor 1. The rewards are terrible, they're not worth the provisions you need to use. Rush the higher floors and then get your loot on floors 3 and 4. So that statue is thieves, and I'm not running thieves, and honestly statues kind of have a limited value. It's so easy to get the first 4 or 5 levels on floor 1 that the statues are somewhat of a waste of provision until you get to higher floors, but some people go nuts about them. The statues, once again, are a limited usage per guild, so you don't want to take a thief statue if you're not specializing in thieves. You want to let the guy who's specializing in thieves take that. So to the right there is the mini boss guarding the guild chest, but the guild chest is just not worth it. 250 guild currency, only 30 experience, and a transmit stone. Not worth the hassle of killing that boss. It'll take 2 or 3 of us to kill that boss. Now we're coming up to our first relic shrine. Relics are very important. These are the biggest power-ups in the game. Hopefully I get a really good one here. Okay, boost mage classes. I'm not running mages. That golden kettle relic is actually great on floors 3 and 4 where you're opening chests, but we're not doing that. So the only decent one really is the bronze ring, which is like a really crappy version of the exploration journal. It'll give me a little bit more experience points when I use things. I'm gonna take it, but honestly the first next relic shrine I go to, I'm probably gonna replace it. You can see this one only has 5 uses. It had the little 5 in the circle around it. As you use them, you watch that number go down, and you can get rid of it once it's down to 0. So another scroll. Let's see if this one's better than the first island scroll. Huh. Okay, this is really rare, but it's the exact same. Like literally down to needing rangers, it's the exact same. That usually doesn't happen. It's unfortunate, so again, I'll break the chest and just get the basic reward. Now we'll go use that mana lift and head north. Now some people will tag the scrolls and tell you people what's in them, but it's been my experience that they do alternate. They aren't the same each run. So if somebody else uses that scroll, they'll see something different. And scrolls and relic shrines have no limited usage. Everybody in the guild can use them. Only books, statues, and camping tents have limited usages. Speaking of relic shrines, here's another one. I tell you, I already am maxed out. You can click on the relic button and see I don't have room for a 3rd relic. You can't change your top one, it's pinned. That's your starting relic. So if I use that relic shrine, I've got to get rid of that ring. If that ring was something I really wanted to keep, then it's a waste to use the relic shrine. I should just leave it and move on until I unlock another relic spot. But because the ring is not that great, I'm going to roll the dice and hope that I get something better out of this relic shrine. Extra provisions, something that boosts warriors, lots of options that are better than just a little bit more experience points for using items. We go ahead and use it, and we get... Okay, something that boosts Knight class. We're not doing that. and something that gives better experience for normal fights. We're not doing that, but there is a food provision one that gives me 10 extra provisions, and to be honest with you, I kind of value the 10 extra provisions. Now that's an instant one and done usage. I got the provisions, and now that relic is dead, so the next relic shrine I can immediately replace it. So there is a Soul Weaver statue up there. That is one of the classes that I'm specializing in, and if I can get my level up high enough, I might go ahead and grab that. I probably shouldn't. I should probably just rush the boss, but I think I'm going to hit it. So you can see my experience points in the bottom left corner. 240 out of 300 exploration level, so I'm very close to going up a level. The book on floor 1 is worth 100 experience points for me, so if I grab that book, it'll push me up a level. The reason I'm mentioning this is the statue is not a +1 to your current skills. It literally just takes you up a level. So if I use this book and I go up a level and I put the class enhancements into Soul Weavers, I can then grab the statue. Okay, so now I'm level 4. Something else important to note is you cannot have your skill be higher than your current class level. I'm going to wander over to the statue. And use it. And boom, now my weavers are level 4. Be reminded that when you get enhancement points, you aren't going to be able to level beyond that until you get your character higher class level than your enhancement. Sorry if that's a bit confusing, but once you get the swing of it, it's pretty basic. So I'm going to head up and fight this Warden. Now you see the teleporter right above the Warden. It's kind of hidden behind him, but there's an inactive teleporter. Once both Wardens are dead, the teleporter will light up and we can use it to move to the northern island. So that's why we split into 2 teams. 2 of the teams, or 4 teams. 2 of the teams are hitting the left Warden, the other 2 teams are hitting the right Warden. This is a blind eye Lich Warden. The big things you gotta know is he hits everybody with an AoE seal, just like the Light Expedition. So units with passives are not ones you want to take into this fight. Like Terranor Guard seems like a great idea until you realize you don't get any CR pushing from him because that's a passive. So you want to take units that don't have passives. Other than that, he gets scalable attack up, scalable defense down on you. He does a pop at the end of every fight. He's designed so that you can't just tank it and make this a long, drawn-out fight. You gotta burst in as much damage as possible. Now, I don't want to take Tamisaria into this fight. I do want to take Ken, but dual attacks work remarkably well on this Warden. So I'm going to load up Kitty, Camilla, and I probably should have gone with Acades, but I went ahead and went with Amelia because I thought the CR pushing would be nice. Now the one thing I didn't think about, because I am really, really tired, is at level 2, which is what my warriors are at, I don't have crit chance maxed out. Now you can hit the Warden multiple times, you just can't reuse the same units. Once you use a unit, it's locked out and shadowed out, and you can't use that unit again until the following day when AI resets. So I'm going to put Amelia in the front because my Soul Weavers are level 4, so she will be the tankiest on the team. My warriors sadly are only level 2, so I'm not going to do great damage. And one thing I forgot is check out that crit chance. Because my warriors are only level 2, their percent bonuses to stats are really low. Especially Ken. I'm rocking Ken with 46% crit chance, so what I should have done is at very least put Midnight Bloom on one of my units to boost crit chance, and maybe swapped Ken out from a pen set to a crit set. Because of a below 50% crit rate, I'm not going to do great damage in this fight. But hey, I was really tired, so you'll have to forgive me. But if you take artifacts and sets that will really boost your crit chance, that'll help supplement. Once you get to levels 5 or 6, your crit chance will probably be pretty close to maxed out. By level 10, your crit chance and crit damage will probably be maxed out. So every time you touch the Lich, he self-CR pushes. Every time he AoE attacks, he does pop damage to your whole team. Even when he does single target attacks, he does pop damage to your whole team. And the seal never goes away. You can't cleanse it, so you need to use units that don't seal. I really like this team. You can substitute Emilia for any good healer. You can substitute Ken for any good damage dealer. Remember, Luna is not a great choice. A lot of Luna's stats are passives, and she'll look like she has higher crit and crit damage than she does, but those are locked away behind the seal. I'll go ahead and speed this up a bit. You'll eventually hit a point where you just can't keep up with the damage. It's designed that way. It's like Expeditions on steroids. They want it to take multiple guild members to defeat bosses, or multiple attacks by guild members, so don't get frustrated if you do what feels like a relatively low score. You do anything in the triple or the 6-digit range, and you're doing a great job. Now you can enlist more heroes and hit them a second time. You don't get the EXP bonuses from hitting them a second time. There'll be a scary pop-up message telling you the fight doesn't count. It doesn't count for personal rewards. It totally counts for hurting the boss and advancing the fight. But and there's your message saying, well, that's the message saying I need to enlist more heroes. And I could enlist some more heroes, I could hit it again, but I've got half of the guild heading for this spot, and whoever attacks the Lich gets some extra personal bonuses for being part of the fight. So there's really no reason for me to waste multiple attacks hitting it. I always recommend that you don't spam kill a Warden. You let everybody have their shot at it, and then you look around and say, hey, you know what? It's only got a little health left. Just about everybody's attacked it. I'm going to go ahead and finish it off now. But you know, that's part of being a team player, making sure everybody gets a little bit of their bonuses. So I do have 22 provisions. Once that Warden is dead, I'll use that teleporter. We'll go up and we will fight the priest, which hopefully happens a little bit later today, and I'll have that second video up when it happens. If you have any questions about Ancient Inheritance, ask them in the comment section. I'll do my best to answer them. If you want to reference the maps, they'll be in the description of the video. And I do try to keep those maps updated. If you need a guild, if your guild is not good at Ancient Inheritance, the Baka Guilds are full, but I know a handful of people that have guilds, trusted people from early game to late game. I might be able to get you into one whether you're an Emperor player or somebody that started 4 weeks ago. I can probably get you into a decent guild, so check the link in the description and in the comment section for a link to Car6's Discord, and you can DM me there about getting you into a guild. You can join Ancient Inheritance 4, 5, 6, even 7 days late and still get all of the rewards. You want to get in there as soon as possible because it's a 2-week-long event, but you don't have to feel like you missed the boat. You can still jump in to a new guild a week later and still get all of the rewards if it's a solid, fast-moving guild. Anyway, have a great rest of your Mola Monday, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Have a great one, everybody.